Pirate Radio. KHBLLP. Hannibal.
Good evening, Pirate fans, and welcome to This Week in Hannibal Pirates Football. This is Mark Dell. Joe Thomas is sitting next to me. We got a special guest with us tonight. James Wetton, our Hannibal Pirate KHBL Player of the Week, has joined us. James brought the whole family along. We are at Frozen Sippies down on 108 Main Street in Hannibal. Come on down and see us. We're having a little pizza and enjoying some slushies and talking a little Pirate football. James, big win against Kirksville this week, or last week. You're still undefeated in the conference. Got two more to go, and Moberly coming up this week.
Oh, yeah. Really shutting out this conference is a big goal for us this year since it's the last year being conference. So really just want to go out with a bang, kind of let up our one goal with Mexico. Kind of really actually wanted to, not let them score, shut them out completely.
Right.
But they kind of came out with that one.
Well, they threw it more times in the first series than they have all year.
Yeah, they've thrown it more times than they have in the last 5 years. I was telling Coach G, I set the over/under at 4.5 throws for the whole game. They passed that in the first drive. So
yeah, they did the complete opposite we planned for them to do.
Right,
run outside and everything. We were ready for it to hand off to that fullback.
Joe, we talked about it earlier last week that Kirksville is no longer the doormat of the North Central Missouri Conference. No. Greg Nesbitt has really turned that program around. Now, they didn't have the athletes this year that they had last year, but still, they played a good, clean football game.
They did. They played a good, clean football game. And, last year they did too. They had a few more studs on their line last year and just all-around position players. During that game last year, Mark, we actually lost Ben Worthington to either a broken tibia or arm or something like that, and then actually Mike Ferreira got hurt in that game, and we thought he was out for the season too, and that he got taken out early there. Mm-hmm. Now, which Landon Essig was our player of the game that week because he was stellar ball player that week, but against Kirksville. But we lost a lot of firepower during that game. And they just controlled the clock on us from start to finish.
Well, they had a good game plan. They stuck to it. And James, you can probably speak to this. It's tough to get up for a team that you're expected to beat. And year in and year out, it had been many years since Kirksville gave us a game. So, tell us a little bit about how you felt last year with that.
Well, it was just extremely disappointing. I mean, you always hear everybody talking and how they're always going to say, oh, we're different this year, we're going to be better. And, well, most of the time, that ain't always the case. But last year, we kind of gave it to them last year. We fumbled, I think, maybe 2-3 times in the red zone. That was a big thing. And
well, you were on the road, and that crowd was really into it.
Oh, yeah.
They were really into the game. They smelled blood. They circled the wagons, and we made it close. We lost 16-15, but yeah, and you got to feel like we got a little bit of revenge this season.
Oh yeah, that was our complete and utter goal. That was the theme of this week was revenge on the scouting report.
Now, I was surprised at the Southbourne Nesbitt. That's Coach Greg. Yeah. Greg's grandson, but wow, what a player! I tell you, as a wide receiver, it looked like their passing offense consisted of throw it up and hoping Nesbitt could bring it down, and he did several times.
Right. I mean, he was a very healthy looking athlete out there, Mark. Being on that sideline, at 6'4", 220 pounds, sophomore, boy's got some size to him, and he was a gamer. And that's why when they did, drop back and pass, they were looking for that, whether he was kind of doing a slant route or a deep route or whatever it was. But when you got that type of athleticism to you, you're going to use it.
Oh yeah, and they did. They threw it several times in the double coverage, and he just went up and pulled the ball down.
Yeah, he's a big, strong kid.
Yeah, talented receiver. Their quarterback, he wasn't throwing them on a rope. He was just laying them up there. I was very surprised that we didn't pick any of them off, and a couple of times I think we hadn't turned around.
Yeah, we had our one time. McAfee almost had that pick, but that receiver kind of got him like a blindside kind of shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Kirksville's running game. I know, James, you had a huge game on defense. I mean, every time that we turned around, we were calling your name, your number there for the tackle. So.
Yeah, well, I always like to be a little hard on myself. I didn't really feel like I had the best game. I mean, I don't really know what to say about their running game. I mean, it really consisted like them trying to go behind that 66, whatever his name is, Bennett Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big boy, and that kind of made a little bit of a struggle because they didn't want to pull that guard like they usually want to do. They wanted to pull that tackle along with it, so you kind of had to go over that big boy right there. And it was just kind of a struggle a little bit at first, but then he got tired, and then it really started making it easier for us, and we got better as it went out throughout the game.
Did the coaches make very many adjustments at halftime?
No, not very many. We just kind of realized what plays we can and what plays we can't really run. Really did find out some of those blitzes on that Bennett Frazier really worked, and it seemed like a runway going right to the quarterback.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was not only you, but several times there were 3 or 4 guys that just right on him there.
Right. No, Bennett. Bennett is he's a great athlete and he's committed to K-State, but Bennett is actually a genuinely very nice young man. I get a lot of time with him in the track season with Nicholas there, Mark, and going to different track meets. And Bennett, I think he finished number 1 in state for shot put in Class 4 last year. Very good athlete, very just nice young man. Actually, what impressed me most was going to all those track meets and seeing Bennett Frazier there with a big cooler full of sandwiches and stuff, and then inviting over like Nicholas and Trey, which that's a bad idea because they're going to eat all your food.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's invited them to come over and just kind of hang out and just kind of sit there and have some beverages and chill out with them, and just he's just a nice kid, very nice young man.
So I'm looking at the current district standings. Hannibal, of course, is ranked number 1 in the district. We are ahead of Odessa at 2, Warrenton, then Mexico, then Kirksville and Marshall. There's a fair chance that we play Kirksville again, and not only Kirksville, but probably Mexico as well,
Mexico
James.
will probably be the one we play again.
So, yeah, right now Hannibal has 51.67 points in the district. Odessa, with the same record, 5-1, they have 43.67 points. So we're quite a ways ahead of Odessa. And then Warrenton lost last week. They dropped to 4-2, so they're at 41.17. And really what that comes down to, Joe, we talked about this a little bit earlier, is that bye week. In our district, just with 6 teams, so I think that makes 2 of them, I guess, that get a bye that Halloween, October 31st.
Yeah, Halloween that week will be a the kids will get to go trick or treating and get out there and get their favorite snacks on Halloween night. But I never liked a bye week during football season.
It's tough. You've got some momentum going in. I guess you look at it a couple different ways. It gives you a chance to get healthy.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And a lot of times you are banged up at the end of the season. James, what are you thinking about bye week? I caught you with a mouthful of pizza tonight.
I can see it as kind of being a help, kind of really make us kind of just calm down, really focus on who we got. I mean, usually, what is it? Usually the first seed usually plays
like the 5.
Yeah, usually the 4 or 5, right? And so it would be
well, I guess it would be 5 or 6.
Kirksville or number 6 would probably be Marshall.
Oh.
So and that would be interesting because, of course, we finish our regular season conference-wise against Marshall. Fortunately, we don't have to travel there this year.
Raise the roof.
Although I got to admit, Joel and I made that trip in 2 hours and 10 minutes one time.
Mark, they will still come and find you for that.
That was back when I was driving.
There's no statute of limitations for that there.
Speaking of Joel, he had a great picture of him today. Standing on the Swilken Bridge, folks, at the home of golf, where golf was invented at St. Andrews. I don't know if he's listening in, but if he is, he's probably not in any condition to be listening in. So he was having a good time today, but great picture of Joel standing on the Swilken Bridge.
Standing on the Swilken Bridge, yeah. It's got a little bit of envious there with that being my sport of playing there, that golf there. But, seeing Joel there on the Swilken Bridge, got to put a little smile on my face that, all right, one of these days, Beck and I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there, and hopefully maybe we'll bring the kids over too. But, James, watching you the last several years, you really made your mark on special teams.
Yeah.
You got in there sophomore season, special teams, and you know, I don't know how many hundreds of different times Joel, myself, Terry, Mark, you know, Hannibal Pirates kicked the ball off deep, and it was King James, the Bloodhound, whatever our names were for you at that time. You just made a play, and then eventually that being that consistent player, that consistent time in there, then you earned a spot on varsity defense there.
Yeah.
You know, you're still in there. We still hear King James with the Bloodhound in there almost all the plays. Now we're kind of seeing a little bit of the younger guys coming in there, the Murphys, you know, Donnie and Julian coming in there making plays too, like James did, and kind of earning their spot there. But you know, seeing you over the years develop, and it's kind of like a little Bobby Boucher, you know. I get a little Bobby Boucher. I see James back there, and just kind of see him kind of going side to side, and then you know he's shooting the gap, whatever it is. He's making plays in the backfield there. If it's not in the backfield, he's following. He's tracking down them on. You know, if they're trying to get outside of us, it's usually James on that, being that first instigator, if not finishing off. He's in there making that play all the time. What does James think? You know, when you're out there, you're running your spot, what are you trying to key on? Are you, as coaches, trying to say, James, hey, I want you to key on the quarterback every single play? Are you keying on him? Are you keying on the backs? What are you as the linebacker? So James is playing linebacker, meaning he's the next row of defenders behind the defensive line. But what are you trying to focus in on for you?
Yeah, so really kind of went back to what I was talking about earlier, those guards or those really gateway to where that play is going.
Right.
Coach tells us every time those guards will take you wherever the play's going, and so that is the main key. And then after you get those, see where they're going, just play football. That's what I've always been told, and honestly, I just get yelled at when I think. I've been last year with Coach Gaines, he would come up and yell at me.
What do you think?
He'd go. Like, what are you thinking? I'm like, you told me not to think. And I'm like, well, he goes, yeah, I did tell you that. So,
yeah,
go figure it out.
I remember, Joe, you talked about that. I can back when I first started covering the Pirates. I can remember Mark Nevis flying down the field, and then there was Grant Taylor on the kickoffs, and then, like you said, James came along, and I knew on the kickoffs, especially those young guys, he may not hit the guy carrying the ball. Somebody was going to get hit, though. I guarantee you that. And
somebody's getting hit.
And Coach, way back when Mark St. Clair was coaching the team, he said, you know, you start watching guys like that, you know, and you don't even watch who's got the ball. You're watching that guy because, again, you know somebody's going to get hit, and that's been exciting to watch.
Oh, it's been extremely exciting to watch. You know, starting down there, I remember, you know, Aeneas' senior year, and I think it was during the Jeff City. It was probably not too long after the Banded Rooster event. We went to the Banded Rooster, and we're down there. And, you know, of course, Aeneas had 8 touchdown, you know, rushes that game. And, you know, every time we kicked off, it was like, who made the play? And Joel was in the stands up there. And Joel just, you know, was like, that was King James. I think that was where we gave him the Bloodhound name, was Jeff City Stadium. Down there was where you got the Bloodhound. But it just rang so true. And it's like, you know, for guys that, you know, if they're not on the, you know, the starting 11, whether it's on the defense side or on the offense side, you know, that special teams is a place where they kind of create a path to that position.
Oh, yeah.
And you've done that and solidified that over your career here playing for the Pirates.
So, folks, I'm going to send it back to the studio for a couple of minutes. We've been talking with James Wetton here of the Hannibal Pirates. You're listening to This Week in Hannibal Pirate Football. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Crescent Jewelry has always been the Hannibal Pirates' #1 fan. They know and appreciate the efforts and determination these young men must have to enjoy a successful season. Crescent Jewelry has used the same principles to run their business. Your local hometown jeweler for all your jewelry needs is Crescent Jewelers. They offer quality jewelry. Like the Pirates, they try hard to go that extra yard. Crescent Jewelry, 207 Broadway in downtown Hannibal since 1842.
Thinking about retiring? Let us help you prepare for your tomorrow. At Benson Financial Group, we help you establish goals aligned with your values. Our professionals will build you a plan so there will be a smart place to get your money when you need it. When tomorrow becomes real, make sure you enjoy it. Our advisors would be honored to guide you as you plan your future. Benson Financial Group, built on trust, dedicated to service.
Hi, folks. It's Mark Dowell. The Hannibal Pirates improved to 3-0 in the North Central Missouri Conference with a dominant 42-6 win over Kirksville last Friday night. Tune in this Friday as we travel to Moberly to take on the Spartans in another important conference game. We'll be on the air at 6:45 p.m. for pregame, followed by 7 o'clock kickoff right here on your home for Hannibal Pirate Football, KHBL 96.9 FM.
The employees and directors of F&M Bank and Trust Company thank you for rooting on the Hannibal Pirates on KHBL Radio. Since 1870, F&M Bank has been cheering on Hannibal. As the Pirates settle into their new home, F&M is happy to be a part of this new era of Hannibal Pirate football. Together, F&M Bank, along with our customers, have been and will continue to be a part of progress in our community. F&M Bank and Trust Company, Hannibal's biggest fan. Go Pirates!
All right, well, welcome back to Frozen Sippy's Pirate fans. We are this evening, we're talking to James Wetton down at Frozen Sippy's at 108 Main Street. And James, we talked about a little bit while we were off the air. There's a couple of Pirates that got banged up a little bit. Quarterback Wyatt Dorsey took a kind of a leg whip, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of did. I don't really know much what happened with him. All I know is that kind of limited what he was doing, taking away his kind of running game, how he usually kind of flows around.
Right.
And, yeah, so all I know is they just got his leg banged up and just made it a little hard.
That was one thing that surprised me about the Pirates so far this year. I had no idea that Wyatt had that kind of speed. When you get him into the secondary, and Joe pointed that out right away. He's like, yeah, he does run track. I'm like, I can see why. That kid is fast. Not only does he have a shotgun for an arm, I mean, that kid can run.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that even goes, Mark, with not only does our offense have that speed, whether it's right up the throat at you and running you over type, that Cade Hoskins can do. But if he gets on the outside, we got the speed there too.
A lot of different ways for the Pirates.
And only that, yeah. But then on the defensive side of the ball, not only do we have those running backs as on the offensive side, but those running backs we have are playing secondary. But then we got guys like James, and we got Kaysen McAfee in there playing on linebacker also, that got speed laterally, that's going to string that play out from that other team trying to get outside. They're stringing it out, taking it all the way to the sideline. Not letting them get beat around the corner there.
Well, it's also been fun to watch when the Pirates do throw the ball. They're very effective. So they got a lot of weapons there as well, from Reed Holiday to our massive tight end. I tell you what, just watching the elder Hoskins, catch the football. And James, you got to admit, he's tough to tackle.
Oh, yeah, you got him in the knees with that size.
Oh, yeah, there's guys, especially, linebackers and the defensive back, they just bounce off of him, when he gets the ball. He takes a 10-yard pass, turns it into a 35-yard gain.
Well, I wanted to actually see that time that, Wyeth threw the ball a little bit high, and obviously we understand now why. He's kind of dead-legged. He wasn't able to get his feet set, and he threw the ball a little bit too high to Hoskins. Mm-hmm. Almost got it in, but he was wide open, had 50 yards in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think T-Rex was going to make it all the way to the end zone.
Yeah, without getting caught.
But I wanted to see it.
Somebody.
It'd have been like Joel Booth's dream to see the big guy catch a pass and go to the end zone.
All down the field 50 yards. Yeah.
It totally would have been a Billy Bob motion there on Friday Night Lights.
So, James, have you guys been working this week yet on this week's opponent, on Moberly? Do you know what to expect from them, or what do you got going with Moberly this week?
Well, Moberly, they're kind of doing the same thing as always. They're almost similar to Mexico, how their formation is kind of almost like that wing.
They do run that, yeah. They're very similar.
Outside. It's the most annoying thing ever.
Well, it ends up, we talked to Coach G about this last week, we end up watching you guys, and you run their offense better than they do.
Yeah, we say that in practice all the time.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's unfortunate for them, but it does make it fun for us guys to watch.
Oh,
Joe, we going to make a trip over to Lula's on Friday?
You know, Mark, you and I have never made that
Never
trip.
been to Lula's, no.
Never made that trip to Lula's. Is that the shrimp place?
Yeah, that's
or
the
something?
shrimp place, yep.
Well, you know, there's a first time for everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I guess we're going to have to do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. I know the very first time I went to Moberly, Bob Willett did the game with me, and Rex Hicks showed up in the booth with a platter of shrimp, and I lost Bob for 45 minutes, I think. You know, I was just doing the game solo there, and I look over at Bob. He's got, you know, shrimp peels hanging out of his lips, and, you know, the sauce is flying, and oh yeah, we had a great night that night. But,
well, you know, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You know, good food, you can't kind of, you know, get disrupted away from that.
Oh
so.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you kind of, James, you mentioned it. You would kind of know what to expect from Moberly, but the same thing that goes with anybody that we play in the conference. You know, they're going to be up for Hannibal. That this is their Super Bowl. They want to beat Hannibal worse than anybody.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, the conference is falling apart because of us.
Yeah. Well, there's no secret there.
And it's just they're falling apart because of us, because it's the continuation. It's 51 out of 56 years that we won the conference.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's just, you know, beating them up. And so, you know, I could see, I don't know if Moberly's on our schedule next year. I remember seeing it.
I know Kirksville is, Mexico is. I'm not sure about Moberly.
Moberly, Fulton, I think, are gone by the wayside. Marshall's
gone. Yeah.
You know, we've picked up. I know we're going to Jackson, and we're going to a couple other bigger places. But you know, as the season gets deeper and deeper, and we've already kind of seen it from. Well, we had to see it from Troy, because Troy got their lights punched out up here. You know, we came out passing, and that threw Troy for a loop, James.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like Coach G, like Mexico did to us, you know, we came out passing and kind of threw off their defense completely. But at the same time, we were too much a team for Troy. In the second half, we started seeing Troy play trick plays.
Oh, yeah.
We started seeing some different plays that you would see later on in the season.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as far as the public, you know, Mark and myself and Joel and Terry and being in the booth and stuff, how many plays have we not seen from you guys yet that you guys are already working on?
Oh, man. We had some, like, plays that we just now installed this week, and it's almost like our power eye, but now I'm not in there. But it's just,
well, that's another deal that I would like.
I was going to say, hey, you brought up another point there. The full house backfield.
I want to talk about the linebacker backfield on the goal line. What is this whole deal? I mean, it was a couple games ago, and I was like, Mark, these are the linebackers.
I was like, oh, that's number 11. Yeah. So,
it is.
So tell us about that formation.
It's so much fun. I mean, we're begging the Coach G. We get inside the town. We're like, power, come on. And then he's like, goes, power, and then we all just screaming, and we're just ready to hit somebody. And I mean, we practice it in practice maybe once or twice a week, because everybody is just scared of seeing me and Kason come running through that hole, just ready to just hit whoever we see first.
My dream is to have them actually hand you the ball. Is that a possibility?
There is a play.
So you're saying
they hand you the ball. There is a chance.
It's like Jim Carrey back on Dumb and Dumber, so there is a chance.
Oh, yeah, there's a chance.
Okay, so I'm waiting for that there. I'm waiting to see that there, James, because when we see you guys get in the linebacker specials, we're going to go.
Yeah, I'll probably.
I told Dorsey, I said, you do not hand me that ball unless that gap is wide open. I said, you are blowing it no matter what, unless it is there. If it ain't there, you are taking it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I hope we get to
trust your
see
hands
that.
over mine.
I hope we get to see that.
Well, I think just for the sake of Mom and Grandma and Dad sitting here, hand you the dang ball. I mean, if we're down there on the one or two
gloves, and then they're all taped up and everything. I ain't got no grip. I'm gonna need pine tar.
Tell Dad to get up to Dunham's and get a new set that are a little sticky.
Well, I tape them all. I tape it up anyway, so then it's gonna be hard for it anyway. Cause I
get
tape
the
it
little
the right
sticky
way.
ones.
So like
grab a receiver's gloves right off the bat before you go out there for that play. That's what you can do, very simply. You know, we kind of talked a little bit about how the conference is going to disassemble going into that. And I do have it. Yeah, Stephen just brought it to me. So we're going to start off traditionally with a Holiath.
Open it up with the Catholics again.
Those darn Catholics, as Bob said, damn Catholics. Yeah. But anyway, so then we go to Lutheran St. Charles, which I think that actually is a problem now because they broke contracts. So that week is open now.
Okay.
So we're going to have to find another person to play
for the next 2 years.
So
Troy,
I wouldn't give to play one of them Quincy schools that way.
Oh, I know.
Take your pick, either one.
Troy, Kirksville, Mexico.
The Devils won't play us though because we're good.
Yeah. And then St. Dominic, Festus, Jackson, and Fort Zumwalt.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been catching a lot of strays from Q&D, and we were talking to G, like, can we have a little fundraiser game where we go play Q&D?
Yeah.
Because, man, are they just...
There'd be nothing finer than
they've always won the play us when we've been bad, but they've never won the play us when we were good.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I remember that well.
Typical Illinois stuff.
Now, I do have to admit, probably the most exciting Hannibal Pirate game I have called in the 15 years that I've been involved was when we beat Quincy. We were down...
was that the light-out game?
We were down 28-0. And we came back and tied it up 28-28, and we beat them 34-28 in overtime in a driving rainstorm. Bob Willett was down on the field, and he actually lost the microphone. I lost my voice. I was screaming so hard. Mitch Nichols scored the winning touchdown, so that's been 11, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time that we played Quincy. Now, there's a rivalry that goes back. I don't know how much you guys knew about this. Terry was telling me this. We played Quincy for many, many years on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the rivalry. So it did not matter what the records were. That was a Thanksgiving Day game. Of course, that's been 50 years ago that wrapped up. But I would love to see that happen again.
That'd be pretty cool.
I remember when we were on the air there, I had Mayor Hark on the air, and at that time it was John Spring was mayor of Quincy, and I got a word in with him. He gave us an interview, and then of course Roy, he's a great interview when you talk with Roy. But I challenged those guys. I said, you guys need to do what you can to make this game happen again. And so I've been waiting for 12 years, but you never know. Wouldn't that be fun to play against the Blue Devils?
That we played at Hannibal, and there was a truck that hit like the light.
So,
was that the Quincy game?
No, that was QND. But yeah, same thing. It was raining there, and we lost power at that game.
Yeah, there was a semi that hit the stop sign or the lights or transformer there.
Oh yeah.
I bet
you those guys are doing some talking now. Yeah, I'd love to get a hold of them again. So.
Oh, big time.
So how's school going now? Doing well?
Yeah, school's going well. Kind of homework's now picking up. Now it's coming to the end of the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just.
Now, is everybody on the team kind of like focused in as far as like you guys got something special going this year?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, special to the point where we're talking like way deep, could be playing possibly in December. So, I mean, it looks like, James, if we can get to the point where we win districts here, then we're probably going to play somebody that's out of that Logan, Rogersville, West Plains district there. And then I've actually been told that we'll play somebody from St. Louis after that. Do you know?
I have no idea. I'm just taking this 1 week at a time.
That's the right answer.
Boy. That's what we're talking about. It's one game at a time.
Yep.
Just really focusing on it.
Because you guys got to look at that one game at a time. Mark and I, we get to fantasize about 4 weeks ahead. That's our job. But, I like that, James. And, Gershwinder said that to me a long time ago, probably about the first year that I was doing sideline and then talking to G after the post game, was that I was so impressed about him, and I would ask him about next week's contender, and he said, we'll look at that Monday.
Exactly. Yep.
And that impressed me because you can't overlook, even though the competitor on paper is not as strong as you, well, you got to play him next week.
Yep.
And you might bash him pretty hard on the scoreboard, but I know what G wants to look at is, he said it here after the second week, third week after we beat Troy. His statement says how good we were against Troy. In November, we're going to be twice as good.
Yeah.
Now, as a player with them, is that what your mindset is? Is that what your goal is as a player, to be that?
Yeah, I mean, and so he's been talking about every week we have to take a step forward. We can't take any steps back. We have to progress every single week. And you got to treat it like it's Elias or Troy every single week. And,
absolutely.
And you can't take days off at practice, and you just got to practice how you play. Because, I mean, my dad found a great thing talking about how these MLB guys, you can't hit a 100-mile fastball unless you practice hitting a 100-mile fastball.
Right.
And so how are you going to do going against full speed if you ain't going full speed?
That's true. That's true.
Well, that about wraps it up. I tell you what, that 30 minutes went by fast.
Hey.
Closing thoughts. You got anything, James? You want to throw a shout out to anybody, or
Just all the guys and everything. I know they're probably at home studying for a test, which is very doubtful. Or they're at the volleyball game. One or the other.
That could be true.
Oh, cool.
That could be true. You know, the Hannibal Pirate girls volleyball team, are they still having a pretty good record this year?
Yeah.
I know they lost to QND girls over there, like in the third set.
That was what started a lot of that talking.
Yeah, that's a QND. And I hate anytime we go over there and play in that pit.
The pit.
The
We were
crap.
making a bunch of jokes about that. That was funny.
Yeah, but, you know, as far as I think, Mark, you know what, Coach G would come out as successful this next week is playing a cleaner ball game, seeing less flags out on the field, just playing clean from start to finish. And if we do that, you know, the score is going to take care of itself. You know, I hate looking at the Misha site and seeing anything where it has the Mexico versus the Hannibal game, 26-14.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it was a ball game.
Right.
It was not
Right,
when
right,
they had
yeah.
5 touchdowns called back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that kind of, I think the guys, you should take it personal.
Oh, yeah.
That ball game was not that close.
No.
And so I think that, you know, you're going to go out there, you're going to do your job offensively, defensively against Moberly, and then get ready for the next week. You know, which is your final regular season game, senior night.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure Mom and Dad are going to be decked out just as well as this Mom and Dad for Nicholas that night. You know, I'm sure that I'll be a little bit water-eyed that game. So
if you'll be water-eyed.
oh.
Tsunami.
God knows.
That's what your dad called
Yeah,
tsunami.
Tsunami. I don't think we'll say tsunami that night, James, out of fear of something being thrown at us during that game or pre-game. But you know, I just think that you guys are shaping up as a team, looking. You know, this last game they were looking pretty darn clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and of course I think Kirksville is a better team, definitely coach team than Mexico is. But I think that these guys are trending to the right way. Postseason play, getting ready for that, and you know, like I said, James, you guys are looking
to be playing your best football.
That's right. You're wanting to play the best football. You want to be playing the best contenders, and so good luck to you guys going in here the next couple of weeks. And I know we're going to be talking to you this come Friday night, and then next Tuesday probably down here too. But Mark, I think they're looking pretty good. I'm excited.
Oh, me too. Well, folks, that's going to do it. Tune in this Friday night when we head over to Moberly. We'll be on the air at 6:45 for pregame, followed by 7 o'clock kickoff right here on your home for Hannibal Pirate Football, KHBL 96.9 FM. For my partner, Joe Thomas, and our special guest, James Wetton, our executive producer, Danny Norman. This is Mark Dowell saying good night from Frozen Sippies.
Ready, go! Pirate Radio, KHBL-LP, Hannibal.